I always thought it was because she was a girl. She was my first daughter. So a lot of the characteristics and behaviors I was seeing, I thought was just because she was a girl. When she entered school was when we really started to know that there was a problem. I would receive phone calls from the principal, her teacher, just saying that she could not maintain control in the classroom. So eventually she did have a diagnosis of bipolar. At least then I had books to read and I could learn and talk to other parents. We tried medications, we tried just different home methods, and we tried counseling. We were just left with no options other than to have her put in an inpatient psychiatric hospital for children. And it became apparent that the only option was to send Ashley out of state. When I look at the photographs around my house, there's one person missing, and that's my daughter.
I think there is maybe a stigma associated with people wanting to reach out, and maybe it's a saying, or people interpret it as they're not able to maybe get through life on their own.
The stigma affected my daughter too. When she came home from residential treatment, a lot of her friends didn't want to hang out with her anymore. Even friends she had in elementary school, once she went to her first inpatient stay, the parents didn't want her to hang out with her kids anymore. So she lost some friends, and that's difficult for a kid. I would like to see the community become more accepting of people with mental illnesses and their families.
There's not a stigma really around taking medicine when you have a headache. When you have a mental health disorder and you have your prescription pill bottle and it says for bipolar or anxiety disorder or depression, people try to hide that.
I didn't go on the traditional path. After high school, I didn't go right into college, and I kind of took some time off, and my undergrad took about a decade. I had an instructor who was really passionate about the field, and when I saw him teach and I saw him talk about his research and what he was in, it seemed to be incredibly meaningful for him. And I actually chose psychology while studying here at UAF, finishing up my undergraduate degree, and I think it was about the psychology that allowed me to work with people, to develop relationships and get to know people, and at the same time be myself.
I think it's important to invest in mental health services because we have a lack of resources in this community and in the state as a whole. There's more resources for adults, but very little for children. And so a lot of our children are being sent outside of the state.
I think it would have helped my daughter tremendously to be able to be treated at home. Ashley used to blame me. She used to say, "You put me in this hospital." And I mean, she often felt abandoned. It's difficult enough to have a child with a mental illness, but to have that child have to go out of state to receive care, it makes the situation way more difficult.
I'd have to say that having an established PhD program here in our community goes a long way towards retaining providers. So once I complete my degree, I hope to return to Fairbanks. I think Fairbanks in particular because of, well, in Alaska, but the rural nature makes it difficult for people who are really hoping to seek out mental health services.
It was very difficult because of the distance that she was away from us. I'd like to see inpatient facilities where Alaska kids can stay in Alaska. A child, whether they're bipolar or not, doesn't really understand a separation from mom.